All right, welcome everybody. It's been a hot fucking minute, but we are back in your life, man. The U.U.C. SkullTank podcast. I am your loyal host, Mr. Frank the Tank, and joined with me today is my friend and yours, former U.U.C. champ, too many times to count, Mr. Pimp Daddy. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I'm excited to get into some of the news that we got cooking up for everybody and just get everybody kind of up to date. We're midway through the season now, so we got a good amount of stuff to talk about here. Should be pretty fun.
Yeah, dude. It seems like we were just like a few weeks ago doing the last SCI little live podcast thing. That's so fresh in my mind.
Yeah. The SCI podcast last time was we had this huge talk about the SCI and potential outcomes, and then of course, we had the brackets all pulled up, but then there was some pullouts, so there was like a lot of switching around, and it was so much fun that entire lead up to the SCI for the first ever 16-man bracket that we've done, and then just the way it culminated with the event itself being as awesome as it was. Definitely one of the highlights of all the UUC seasons, I think, season 3 SCI.
Yeah, man, and we got a lot to talk about it. It's not quite SCI time yet, but man, like it's I think the picture is largely already kind of taken shape, and I think we already have a couple guys in mind for who are the people to look out for.
Yeah, there's definitely some really good names that are already, in that pool of people that can sign up. Whether that means they sign up or not, we'll have to find out. Um, and it looked like we got a bunch of subs here, Frank, from Obas. Mr. Obas, thank you very much. Gifted 10 tier 1 subs to the UUC community. Thank you very much, Obas.
Yeah, we appreciate it, dude. Way to throw a fish to some fellow workers, man.
And but yeah, like we're saying, there's guys that can former champions that can sign up this season. We can run down a list of names real quick of guys that can sign up. They're eligible right now. That doesn't mean they'll necessarily be eligible by the time we get there, because tomorrow's UUC 73, and the SCI will be taking place on the 75th uh, card of the UUC. But you got guys like newcomers, like the hybrid guy that just debuted. Hamslinger is eligible. Thugatron, as of right now, Shooterman is eligible. Frost Dev. You got Doomba. This is a big one right here, Frank. Starzo is eligible.
Jesus.
You got former MMA champ Artist. So you got two former champs right there that are eligible. You got Zach Shark is eligible. Pinky. Even former Muay Thai champion Fent Zombie is eligible. As of right now, Yusuf is eligible. Flo is eligible right now. Leafy. There's just so many names in here. Obas, even Likma. How could you forget Likma? And I think one of the big ones, you also got Sandman, but one of the another big former champion that's eligible is Blessive if he signs up. So I mean, tons of names there that could fill out that 16-man bracket.
You want to know like that's how crazy shit is. Is last SCI, Starzo was the champion, and now he's qualifying to be in the SCI. And not just that, but then Blessive was the champ after him and was like the long reigning champ, and he's qualified to be in the SCI. So the way that the fucking landscape moves is too much to keep up with sometimes.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a roller coaster throughout the seasons, and that could be an insane story. Sarzo going from being the defending champion to potentially an SCI winner if he signs up and competes in it. And you got to think he would be one of the favorites no matter what, just based off experience alone.
Yeah, and Obas just asked in the chat. He said, "Did Frank just imply that Pimp is fat?" With my Orca comment, I guess. And to let you know, Obas, Pimp actually is fat as fuck right now. We find out that
Yep.
I'm only 20 pounds heavier than him, and I'm like 5 inches taller, and I'm old as fuck. So shame on him for getting as fat as he is.
Hey, I don't even have no love handles right now. I'm just a little thick. That's all. I'm just a little thick. But
Unprofessional bullshit.
definitely unprofessional, but yeah, I'm super stoked for that SCI. We got to get out those the little channel there and let everybody know who's eligible. And of course, there's gonna be more names than that we spoke about and mentioned too, because there's gonna if a 16-man bracket is hard to fill out. So if you got guys that maybe are only 1-0 or maybe even haven't made their debut, we very well might make them eligible as well. So there's a lot to look out for in that instance.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it to where we have 14 people that actually qualify, like, dude, I'm gonna cheat a couple people in because what I mean, I'm gonna do whatever I can do to get it to a 16 man. Because dude, that 16 man one last time, like, it's always so hard to get a 16 man thing going on, or at least it used to be a little easier nowadays. But dude, 16 man tournaments are just amazing.
Yeah, they are. And, honestly, we ran the last one so well, it didn't go a whole lot longer than some of our just regular cards either. And that's a lot of fights when you're doing a 16-man bracket. And then the winner that's going to face the champion, in the same night. It's a lot of fights.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you have people that are kind of grinders and they like to go all the rounds, man. Like it can really fucking be crazy. But yeah, I mean, we kind of started out this thing and we didn't really want our cards to go much longer than 2 hours. And we don't get like crazy long with them, but dude, we've just had so many more members and so many people wanting fights that they have been going a little bit longer. But I haven't mind because most of the time they've been fun. Nobody wants a. I'll deal with the long card if all the fights are fun. But nobody
Yeah.
wants a long fucking fight card if it's just dragging the fuck out. And luckily we've only had one or two cards where I feel like that happened.
Yeah, we've been pretty good about the pacing of cards overall. And like you said, when the fights are awesome and there's stories behind them and there's a lot of energy, it's always fun to go through. You go through a 3-hour card and it'll feel like it went by in 5-10 minutes. So it's a lot of fun. And like you mentioned, we've had a lot of new members joining just in like at a rapid pace, like a mass amount that we just haven't seen. We just hit 1,000. It felt like it took us, look, it took us a little over a year to hit 1,000, and we're already almost at 1,300.
Right.
So, I mean, and you had mentioned this about how it feels like it's kind of snowballing, and that's definitely what it feels like now. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Frank?
Yeah, I mean I think it's not even unique just to Discord and YouTube and that kind of thing. I think it's just with a lot of things, whether it's like you're growing a business or if you're a musician or whatever it is, it's like you spend 90% of your time getting the first 10% going, and then like after that, it's like, oh, okay, like something just changes in the zeitgeist and everybody just like, oh yeah, this is that. I mean, hell, look at even the UFC itself, dude. Like it took them so fucking long just to. I mean, hell, when did the Fertitas bought that shit in like what 2003 or something like that? I mean, it took them like a good fucking 10 years. It took like to like the Ronda Connor era to where people like even knew what it was like typically if you were to just have a conversation with somebody. Now it's like of course everybody knows what the UFC is because it's fucking been around. It's established.
Yeah, exactly. We're established, and um, it's crazy. We looked at some of the numbers and we talked about this where obviously our biggest base is in the US, of course, because that's where we're from, but we have been having just a growing Brazilian just outreach to the UUC in terms of people creating videos on YouTube that are getting pretty good views in this niche community, and all of their views are coming from Brazil, and it's kind of translated into our analytics where I'm seeing like each time that we're doing an event, we're getting more and more of a Brazilian following. So that's really awesome, and we got to shout out a couple guys like Garza was the first guy to really start a video, and he made a video about how to download the mod. That was basically his whole video, was helping people download the mod and getting it on Xbox 360, which is something pretty unique to what we have. And he helped us out a bunch. He's had a ton of people join off of his own personal invite off of that video, but also recently this Brazilian YouTube content creator Jackson Almeida, he's gotten like 2,000 views, and he basically showcases the mod, and he showcases every fighter in the mod, and that was really awesome, and we got a lot of support from that. So we appreciate Jackson Almeida and Garza for uplifting our Brazilian following here.
Yeah, like back when I used to play in a band, we always like had the joke like, oh, we would tell people like we're really big in Japan or something because there was a lot of like metal bands that were like big in Japan but like weren't that big here for whatever reason. And I kind of feel like we got that going on, but it's like we're really big in Brazil right now. Like I don't know why they like us particularly, but we're happy that they like us, and we're very glad to have them all.
Yeah, and it's a great base of guys to have too, because I mean, look, we've had former champion from Brazil and Corey Lashley. I've had to take the brunt of some of those Tasmanian devil whippings, and even Natan right now, he's probably the big Brazilian competitor right now, where he's just been on top of his game. Main evented the fight night the other night, and uh, got his first submission, earned his BJJ white belt in that one. So I mean, you look at two guys like that; those are two kind of pioneers of Brazilian competitors with the UUC, and I'm sure they're bringing in a lot of new fans. We just had a new uh, Brazilian competitor in hybrid competing, and I think he had a little bit of issues with his controller. I heard that his controls were like inverted,
Right.
so he's trying to figure that out. So we're happy to have him though. We want to see him back for sure, especially if he can get that figured out. But one big thing is just the geographical location of your host, of where you're located, and Brazil. It's really not that far away. So a lot of the Brazilian competitors have pretty good pings with us and are able to compete at a pretty high level, you know. It's not something they have to worry about.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, and like you're anytime with online gaming, it's always going to be a fucking challenge, depending on where you are relative to the host, and especially when you're talking peer-to-peer stuff, because it's like if I'm in Florida, another person's in Texas, and then their opponent is in Asia, you know what I mean? Like that shit's going to get weird real quick. So it's remarkable to me that we've had I kind of lost count now how many different countries we've had champions from. I know we've had champions from Brazil, we've had champions from Canada, we've had champions from France, we've had champions from Iraq, we've had champions from
Yeah.
Sweden, Germany. I really have kind of lost count on how many different countries and even continents that we've had champions from. But like I know sometimes people are like we get spoiled, especially in America, dude. We're like, oh man, this is fucking lagging a little bit or whatever. And it's like, yeah, dude, imagine what some of these fucking people are dealing with being from fucking Iraq playing on an iPhone or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Right. And you've mentioned that before too, because like Yusuf did that on his phone with an 0-3 record and beat everybody in the 16-man tournament for the SCI last season, and then beat Starzo
Right.
for the championship. I mean, and like you said, doing that all the way from the Middle East on a phone, with usually he gets like higher 100 to 200 ping, and looks like a beast. I mean, he'll be hitting reversals and has a whole system to kind of how he plays, and so it's almost a non-factor, but at the same time, it is a factor where everybody's gonna have issues with the peer-to-peer connection. But in terms of comparing it to the original UD3 servers, this is like way better than original UD3 servers, man. Way better.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that, I don't want to drag the whole conversation over to it, but I am aware that they've Quell has gotten NetPlay kind of hacked for UD3, which is really cool news if that's valid. I haven't personally tried it, so I don't know if how well it works. I mean, I don't really know anything about it other than I understand that that's a thing that's happened. So but from what I understand, like you have to like have a designated server somewhere. So similar to like that Shadow program or something. Um, you're gonna have to
Yeah,
have like I don't know if it'd be a thing where like people would have to like pitch up money and like just have a designated server to use kind of a situation because obviously the Xbox Live servers aren't there anymore.
right.
But the fact that happened is very cool. I don't know what that'll mean for the future. It probably won't change too much with what we're doing. Um, but it is cool. Just anytime we got a game this old to have something like that happen is pretty badass.
Yeah, man, definitely. That could be a future revelation that could kind of bring this sort of stuff to the next level. Um, and because we're at the front of basically UD3 competition, we've been doing this longer than anybody as a community. It could be something that we could really promote and get a lot of guys in on it. So that's something to look out for in the future. And tomorrow we got something to look out for in the future, Frank, and that's UC 73. And man, we should talk about that a little bit. I'm sure it's going to be a great card. We already know the main event for UC 73 No Way Out is going to be Pimp Daddy, myself defending the championship against Himoth. And, you know, Himoth and I, Frank, we're pretty familiar with each other, but we've never fought for that MMA championship. So I think this is going to be the highest level fight we've had yet.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because Himoth tried for so long and had so many bites at the apple to get the title, and then like as soon as he gets the title, he gets in a fucking car accident, and then has to vacate the title, and then
Yeah.
now he's kind of shown, you know, he's won one or two fights since coming back. I think he's shown like, hey, this wasn't a fluke. Like he took out Rivera, which would have been the logical probably challenger for him at the time. So it's
Yeah.
it's almost like there's two, kind of like with Dominic Cruz and Renan Barral work. You know what I mean? Like there was a little bit of kind of questionable overlap there. So I don't know how you feeling going into this, because you've definitely fought him before.
Well, I feel like he's got a point to prove, you know. I feel like he knows that I'm gonna when it's all said and done, I'm gonna be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Frank. So I think he's got to really bring it, and he has to have kind of that chip on his shoulder because, like you said, he never lost the championship. So in order for him to come back, this feels like almost a unification for me more so than a defense. So I'm pretty excited to get in there against him, but I think I'm going to show everybody the tools to beat what he brings. Um, and you know, I'm not shy in saying that. I think a lot of the things he uses to beat other guys just simply not going to work against me. I don't think a character pick's going to have too much to do with how the fight plays out. I think he's at a certain level and I'm at a certain level. He is one of the greatest. He's a triple crown champ, but I personally think I am the greatest. So I'm gonna have to show everybody that tomorrow. Another interesting part about it is he's a BJJ purple belt and I'm a BJJ black belt. So he's the second highest belt right now in terms of jujitsu. So it would be pretty nice to tap him out one more time because I haven't done it since like season 2 or something like that. So
Yeah,
pretty interesting stuff.
yeah. So it's only fair we give him a chance to read his what he said. So he said, "I'm gonna be dancing on you tomorrow like I'm Cody Garbrandt." So he informed me he is 1-0 in MMA and 4-0 in BKB since coming back, which is pretty impressive. And then Job let everybody know that Himos' new nickname is Mr. Accident, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't want to allow for Hemoth to get a another championship so he can vacate it again. Accidents or not, I'm sick of these vacating guys, Frank, and I'm gonna show everybody how to do this, man. I'm riding this out. We all know I've been here since the start, and uh, you know, me playing in competition is probably not going to last crazy long. You know, I'm probably towards the end of that, you know, more so than I'm at the beginning now. So I can't allow for another guy to get in there and vacate that belt. I want to break that title defense record that I set. I want to set the bar so high that somebody comes up and breaks that record down the line. That's what it's all about to me, breaking records. And when you set a record, it's meant to be broke, Frank. So I want to see someone else top what I'm going to bring.
Yeah, I love it, man, and it is cool when people really get their streaks and shit going, because I mean, it's so damn hard to do. Like, you know, you haven't got off squeaky clean in a lot of your fights. You know, you've definitely had some scary ass moments. So I'm excited to see what the hell can happen with it.
I'm excited for it too, man, and I'm excited for other fights on the card. I saw Natan just signed up, so Natan has just been. I mean, he doesn't care. He wants to keep fighting and earn that shot back at the title. You got People like Relay signed up for another BKB contest tomorrow, and I thought he had an awesome fight with Natan on that Thursday card. Frost Dev signed up. We have a debut in the Circular Cyclone has signed up, so Adix is getting back to it. There's a lot of good fights that could be matched up for that card. Jester
Yeah,
as well.
Jester's back. Yeah,
So a lot of cool stuff there. Even Doomba, he recently just got ranked in the top 15 with his win over Obas on the fight night, and I'm sure it's going to be a stacked card. And man, Frank, I know we got some big news for everybody. And I'm sure everybody, we've been telling everyone we got a little surprise for them. And uh, this season, Frank, I guess we just got ripped the band-aid off. This season, before the season finale, I want it to be the week of the season finale. We are going to be introducing the U.U.C. Hall of Fame. Frank, how are we feeling about the Hall of Fame?
I think it makes a lot of sense now. I think we've established enough ground behind us. We've got enough shows under our belt. I mean, I don't know how many actual cards we've done if you were to add them all up, but it's a shit ton of cards, and I think it's only right that we do something to kind of honor the people, not even just from UUC specifically, but this kind of lineage can harpen back to even beginning of kind of just competitive play online. I think we can
Yeah.
definitely bring the SFC shit into question and things like that too, just to kind of honor people that have been around and trudge through this shit with us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like you said, the lineage, things about this game and UD3 in general, and then the beginning of the SFC all the way to where we're at now. There's a lot of people that have made their marks, and it'll be very interesting to see who are going to be the first inductees into the UC Hall of Fame, man. And we got some wings. If there's any wings that you guys are interested in and want to see, we'll definitely take them uh, into suggestion. But we will announce that there's two wings 100% that are going to be in the UC Hall of Fame. And that is going to be one, the Champions Wing, and that will be dedicated to some of the greatest champions in UUC history, of course. And like you said, this kind of stuff can date back to SFC as well. So it could be a SFC champion that could end up getting put in that wing at some point. And other than the Champions Wing, we have the Pioneer Wing in the Hall of Fame. So we have two wings that are right now eligible to be inducted into, and we want to add maybe one or a couple more. So we'd like to see what you guys think about that.
Yeah, and one thing's for sure, we don't want it to be a diluted type thing where it's like everybody gets a fucking trophy type situation. We want to keep it 'cause we're already such a small scene anyways. It's like we definitely have to make this where kind of like the we do with the BJJ belt system or whatever. It's like that has to mean something. Like to say that Pimp's a BJJ black belt in this shit, like that fucking means something because he's the only guy that has it right now. And hell, is Samart the only purple belt?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
is.
mean that's how elite it is right there. I mean that's how thin the air is at the very very top. And
Yeah.
yeah, is it gonna mean anything outside of our fucking core group of guys? Probably not. But just like all the rest of this shit, man. To the people that matters, it matters a lot. It's like hell, I've got so many fucking niche stupid things that I'm into, like real life jujitsu and shit. Like there could be a jujitsu red belt, and I would geek the fuck out over knowing that person. But dude, they could walk right down the street in the fucking mall, nobody gives a flying fuck. You know what I mean? But I'm like, dude, do you know who the fuck that is? Let's be towards Shaolin or whoever the fuck.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely want it to be a it's got to be something that is very honorary, very prestigious, so that's why we're trying to kind of keep it to not way too many wings and not too many inductees as we start off, because this is going to be a per season thing. So every time that we get to that week of the season finale, we're going to have a big UUC Hall of Fame. And Himoth is in there saying that a fight wing would be cool. That's definitely one that we've heard a lot of people say that they'd like to see in the future, so that could be added as well.
We could also do like the chicken wing and put all the times that people have just like quit in a fight
that
or made some kind of
would
insane excuse afterwards.
it would be in the Hall of Shame. That we could have the separate
Yeah,
Hall of Shame, and it'll be inducted in the same night as the Hall of Fame. That's actually not a bad idea at all, man. That'd
that
be
would be
pretty
kind of
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, in between all the Hall of Fame inductions, you just have a short little Hall of Shame. That's pretty hilarious. The
Yeah, we
chicken
could
wing.
throw it right in with like the who killed the SFC fucking shit.
That is that's a pretty good one there. But I'm super excited for that and to see some of the people that are going to be inducted there, and maybe having people that are going to, give them a little induction speech before they walk out and give their own speech on their time in UD3, how they got started in it, where they heard about it, uh and just all the stories from competition and just all the things along the road, the ups and the downs of competing in UD3, man. It's definitely going to be something prestigious and exciting. I think it will get everybody pretty amped up for the season finale as well that'll come afterwards.
Yeah, and it's just just always trying to think of new shit to do, because I mean, this game's fucking 13 years old and we play it fucking twice a week. It's like it's if you don't constantly be coming up with just new ideas and things like that, it's just gonna get stale. So this is just a step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, and that's something that we can definitely pat ourselves on the back. Everybody involved in the UUC over the year, and that we over almost, we're getting through this year pretty quick. We're almost a year and a half old now, Frank,
Yeah,
but we always are inventing new things, whether it was Skull coming up with the SCI or coming up with postseason tournaments
the
or
Roosters Classic or or even
yeah,
this podcast.
yeah, the podcast, the Rockin' Roosters, to get somebody a nice shot at a championship to start the season. We're always trying to be innovative, and I think that definitely helps keep everybody intrigued, and also keeps it where we're doing tournaments, but we're not doing so many tournaments. Most of the tournaments are in the off season, and then we have that really big SCI tournament during the season. Sometimes we see little mini tournaments for maybe a vacated title or whatnot, and things of that nature. I see him off in the chat there, Frank. He's saying bring back combat grappling. That's probably probably something we should touch on a little bit as well, where we did recently get rid of the Muay Thai division because of how cursed it's been and so many vacates and so many just crazy stuff happening that, I'm sure is deep in the iceberg of the UC story. But I'd love to see, or we'd love to see, some kind of new division. And that goes back to something that we're talking about of being innovative. What is something we can do that hasn't been done before? You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. A lot of people are talking about these different disciplines, and my main critique on them is that they've either been done elsewhere, maybe here or the SFC, or even King of the Ring, or stuff that Exorcist has going on. So, um, getting innovative with a potential new discipline, whether it happens this season or not, that's something we can look forward to in the future. What are your thoughts on some of that, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta figure something out. Yeah, because Muay Thai, I enjoyed it. I mean, I think I was the one that kind of came up with the idea, and but it's like, dude, it was just always something with Muay Thai. It was just always a every week it was just some sort of nonsense with it. I don't know why particularly, but just always got weird with it like that, and I think. I think BKB is something that people. It kind of surprised me how many people have liked it and wanted to participate in BKB because I really wasn't sure if it would go over very well, but it seems like people really like BKB. Um, and whatever we do, I don't know because I feel like we ought to do something with the pride rules and stuff because it's pretty fucking gnarly to, what I mean, like the fact that there's soccer kicks and things like that. I think that it would be probably a disservice if we didn't do something with that. But what that is or what that looks like, I don't really know exactly whether that's something we change graphically, um, or if it's something we change rules wise, or if it's just something we change presentation wise, like if it's a tournament thing that we do on a semi regular basis, or if it's something we do every card. But the last thing I want is for one thing to overshadow our main product, which is MMA. So I don't want our regular MMA in a cage to get watered down by just a bunch of people doing the exact same thing, but in the Pride ring, soccer kicking people and shit. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's definitely my one critique over doing Val Tudo, because Vale Tudo is definitely exciting, like you're saying. You do the knees to the head, you can do the kicks, and it is a much different set of rules in terms of how long the round is and things of that nature. But we do the BKB under the Pride rule set where it's a 10-minute round. Um, so in that first round, so it's definitely interesting. Some people want to see, like, obviously, I've heard a lot of people talk about Valley Tudo, but, Himoth is, and it wasn't just Himoth either. I've seen other people say that there should be some kind of grappling based discipline. I wouldn't rule it out. I think it's something that is achievable, but you'd really have to master the rule set to make something like that fit. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, with the obviously we saw really quickly with combat grappling some of the finer points just were not ironed out. You know what I mean? And it's like really quickly it turned into, hey, okay, everybody's just gonna hug the stick backwards, and then you got 15 minutes of that shit, or it's we want it to be something that's fun to watch and fun to play. If people are just going right out doing some kind of weird meta shit, then it's like, what's the point in that?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some other ideas too. I personally, I would like to see something that, in a way, continues the lineage from Muay Thai. Because if you remember, before Muay Thai in season one, there was kickboxing, and Muay Thai just took the kickboxing lineage. They were merged into one lineage.
Right.
Um, so if there's a way that we could do something in that regard, I think that would be pretty cool as well. To merge the lineage once again. That way, it's not just kind of sitting there forever. It's still being continued on in some aspect. So there's a lot of different things that we could come up with and spitball ideas and all sorts of stuff. So if you guys got ideas, I see a lot of people are chatting about these different rules they'd like to see. Job wants to see a lot of he kind of likes the Muay Thai, but he doesn't really want the throws that aren't really Muay Thai moves. And that's another thing too, Frank. There's an area that you're trying to meet where you can't have it completely perfect because you're working within the confines of the game still,
Right.
and also making it fun and in its own unique way, which I think Muay Thai did bring. I think being able to do some of those big body throws, even though you don't see a big, uh, body lock throw in Muay Thai, you do see throws, but it's usually trips and stuff. And within the game, you got guys that have move sets like that, but you also have most people that don't have those specific types of sweeps and whatnot. So you're still trying to, find that gray area, so to speak.
Well, and it achieved my goal. My whole goal with Muay Thai was to showcase parts of the game that we weren't seeing a lot, because there's
Yeah.
so many badass throws and there's so many cool things you can do within the clinch that just not that many people were doing in the MMA matches, to be quite honest. Everybody was just taking people down and trying to get
Yeah.
crucifixes and side control and that kind of shit, which is fine. But it's like, dude, look how much it's infiltrated just into the MMA now. Like we even got people like Job and Homelander and shit, which weren't, I wouldn't have called them clinch people at all. You know what I mean? Just a few months ago. But I think just being able to compete in Muay Thai and things like that, it's at least opened their eyes to, like, no, you can actually use this for a lot of different tasks, and you can do a lot of cool shit with it. And then we see people like Yusuf hitting a lot of these German suplexes. Where before, dude, it was literally the Shooter Man was the only guy I ever seen fucking hitting one.
Yeah.
And that now it's it showed people like, hey, it's okay to go out there and take some chances and do some wild shit. You know what I mean? And it ends up being that everybody's better at the end of the day for it.
Yeah, for sure. And like you're talking about the evolution of the MMA discipline in general from you even look back, we were talking about this just one on one the other night. You look back at the beginning of the SFC and you look at kind of where we're at now, even in season 1, season 2 of UUC, you didn't have a lot of guys hitting a ton of reversals. You didn't have a ton of guys using the clinch to dominate fights. You didn't see guys landing intercept knees at the rate you see guys land them now. You didn't see guys feigning and using footwork the same way that you do now, or delaying transitions and trying to catch subs and sub reversals and all these different elements to the MMA game. It really has evolved into a much higher skill level where we're at today, and it's just going to continue to grow like that.
Yeah, and it's it had like the same effect as like the belt system did. You know, like that was Job's idea to do the belt system or whatever. And it's like, dude, like all of a sudden we start seeing everybody's going for submissions now. You know, where it's like
Yeah,
before it would have just everybody just would have taken the safe bet and just tried to get ground and pound finishes because they're so easy to get. You know, now it's
right.
like now we got people like that's literally their whole sequence as they try to do a club and sub. You know, where we were not seeing a whole lot of that before.
Yeah, man, and shout out to Job for when he started back up to SFC, he made the BJJ belt progression system, and I think that's definitely, again, another innovative way to keep people engaged and change up how everybody kind of approaches the game, and it definitely has. We see way more subs and people on the list. Like, there's obviously a lot of people that don't have a submission win yet, but there's a lot of people under that white belt list. And then in the blue belt list, for a while, we only had like one or two people in that list, but now you got Shooter Man, Fent Zombie, Adix, who's like super new as a blue belt, Blessive is a blue belt, Ant is a blue belt. Um, and then of course you got Hemoth standing alone in purple belt. Nobody's a brown belt right now. And then you got me at black belt. And even after black belt, it's 14 submission wins to get to that. You can get the elusive BJJ red belt at 19 wins. So,
And
you
where
know,
are
I'm
you sitting at right now?
I'm sitting at 16. I'm still 3 subs away. And let me tell you something. All these guys at the top of the MMA division, I haven't been able to sub nobody. I couldn't sub Homelander. I couldn't sub Natan. It's gonna be hard to get these submissions as the champ right now, but I'm trying, Frank.
Yeah, I mean it's so fucking cool though because like you go back and look at season one, dude, and there was like 3 subs the entire damn season. You know, look how many we've got now.
Yeah, and there's tons of people that are close. Iso's 1 sub off, Zach Shark's 1 sub off, Starzo and Job are both 1 sub off from getting their blue belt as well. So you even got number 6 in there. Natan just got his white belt. You got D Jared's Slippy Slop J. We'd love to see him come back. So that's definitely, just like we talked about, another innovative aspect of the game. And we should shout out Joe probably one more time for the new arena and lighting that we have.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to be getting a update out hopefully soon. I'd like to tweak a few more stats, and then obviously, like we had that glitch the other night with Lickma and Zach Shark on Tyron Woodley, so we got that fixed from the body lock throw. And speaking of, man, that definitely made the fight between Zach and Lickma and BKB a lot more interesting.
and when's that going down? Is that happening tomorrow or is that a different day?
I don't think that's happening tomorrow because Zach's
Sunday's the day Zach can't do, right?
yeah, Zach can't really do Sundays. I know he's gonna be gone. I think he's gonna be gone this next coming week too. So actually, Thursday, I don't think he'll be able to defend. Maybe he'll be able to in a couple Sundays, or I'm sure that fight will happen, before the SCI. But I know Zach's gonna be out just a little while, so we don't know exactly the time frame on that one yet. But
I'm
we'll
on
we'll
saying
get to
defender vacate.
it. But
Uh,
that fight was extremely close up until you had that crazy thing happen. It seemed like it was most likely 1-1, and there was a lot of grappling, but also a lot of strikes being thrown. So it was pretty interesting because we don't know what we're gonna get in that BKB fight, and both guys won the belt with that French kiss.
yeah, and I don't think anybody learned anything about their opponent that they didn't already know that's going to be applicable to BKB. You know, I still think that's just going to be a wild animal because like they both like to put their opponents in positions where you have to make these quick fucking decisions on the fly. You know, and sometimes it works to your advantage, sometimes it doesn't. You know, but they both kind of play like that. They both give you a bunch of crazy shit to deal with, and then if they crack you, they crack you, and if not, then they don't. So, but I tell you what, that controversy on that fight though did make me want to see that BKB fight way more.
Yeah, it was kind of a blessing in disguise the way it all panned out, and BKB's crazy, man. Like we saw that Job and Rivera fight kick off the card on Thursday, and it seemed like Job really had his combination punches working well. He's moving his head really well, and just slipped right into an uppercut, man, and got put out. And it seemed like Job was on his way to being one of the top contenders in that division up until that knockout. Now he's got to work his way back, and we've seen that so many times in BKB with high level fighters, like when Adix took out Blessev as well. Like BKB is a different animal, man. We talk about it all the time, but you slip into some of these punches, and it's like it's over fast.
Yeah, dude, I think Job's like if there was any award for like heartbreaker of the season award, like it would have to be Job, right? Because like dude, he's gotten, I think was I know he fought for the belt, and then he had like a couple of number one contender opportunities that he got close with, and every time it's like, dude, he just gets right there. It kind of reminds me of him off the season or two ago when like, dude, they would just get right to the fucking end, and then just get the rug pull at the very last second, dude. Because yeah, it looked like he was just kind of coasting in there, like he was just really feeling himself and doing shit. And but I had said something. I'm like, dude, it looked to me like Rivera was just making a read. It kind of reminded me of Alex Pereira in
Yeah,
his fights. You know what I mean? Where
yeah,
like Alex, you're like, oh, like he's not really doing a whole lot, but he's downloading right now. And then like
right.
that boom, just that one uppercut. That's all it took, dude.
Yeah, exactly, man. And yeah, you mentioned that right before he ended
Yeah,
up hitting that uppercut.
Jib's at 15% head hold. Like, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game, man. You take a shot clean, that could be the only shot you take.
I was
And
sparring with somebody that wasn't we'll just say wasn't a very renowned player, and they fucking flashed me two fights in a row a couple of weeks ago. just
yeah,
just it was the same thing, like 7% head damage, 8% head damage, fucking both times.
yeah, definitely. It's part of the game, man. You can't be taking shots on the chin, man. Only takes one. We even see flash body knockdowns sometimes also that really impact a fight. So,
Yeah, and you
but yeah,
can you can turn on competition mode and it removes the flash knockouts, but I don't like that. I think that that's what makes
uh,
MMA is that danger factor.
yeah, of course. When you throw a punch at somebody's face, it doesn't matter how big, small, however the person is. You get hit in the head clean, you could be going to sleep, man. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's just always like a dice game, you know what I mean? It's like how you might be fine 98% of the time, man, but you know that 2% you're fucking going to sleep, you know.
Yeah, and it's a game of inches too. That's why this game is so great, is because it's so realistic to actually fighting in MMA. You'll see where a guy slipped a punch almost perfectly and throws a counter strike, but it just misses, or it kind of glances off the guy's shoulder. Like that could have been a fight-ending sequence, but just it's the little small things that are making the big difference in a lot of these fights too.
Yeah, and I personally like that the judging is bad too. I think that it makes it more exciting because it's like,
Yeah,
there's just always that chance that somebody's gonna get fucked. It
dude,
seems
we
like it's
see it all
happening a
the
lot
time.
lately.
Yeah, you see it all the time in the UFC. It's like that Waldo Acosta fought
Yeah,
uh
Spivak.
yeah, Spivak, and it seemed like for sure he lost every round of the fight. Maybe got one round, and just kind of, to our surprise, he somehow gets the decision again. So you see bad judging all the time, and most of the time it's pretty competent. But sometimes you just get some bad judges, man, and that happens the same way in the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw that real close fight with was it number was it number 6 in ESO?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
very
like
close.
that man, like that one, it's you could definitely watch. Yeah, I mean, you could make an argument that the number 6 won all 3 rounds. You can make an argument that ESO won 1 round. You can make, I mean, you can make an argument any number of ways in that
Yeah.
fight, but it just kind of all goes back to like, man, if you want to be consistently successful, man, like you really got to prioritize finishing.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, or being just absolutely dominant.
Yeah, or be blessed of like him out just said.
Yeah, you gotta. But also, if you get, if you get a big knockdown, a big rock, you're gonna win that round. Now, if you also got rocked and knocked down, now we're talking a 50-50 round,
Right.
and you might out volume, out punch a guy. You may even out damage him. But if there wasn't something very significant, then you have to know that it could go the other way. Even if it looks to 90% of the people watching that you won the round, it could very well not go your way. And without something very significant, those scorecards are always going to be, anxiety driven.
Yeah, or like how many times have we seen like people like Skull will they'll take some heavy punches and stuff like that, and they might get taken down a bunch, but then like they win because they got like 60% damage on leg kicks. You know what I mean? But it's like you would look at the fight and be like, well, he got taken down every round and got ground and pounded and all this kind of shit. And it's like, yeah, but the judges didn't care about that. They like the fact that he kicked the shit out of that guy's legs.
Right, yeah, Skull's a perfect example of that, especially when you watch like the Starzo fight. Starzo did a lot of good things in some of those fights, but Skull just kind of got ahead and mitigated damage and landed enough low kicks, and like you said, the judges liked it,
Right.
and he would get the job done. But man, we got a lot of awesome stuff coming up. But like we said about that venue and the lighting, I think the game looks completely different now, and very unique to what we have. Shout out to Job once again.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome to have such cool people in the scene that have so many different ideas. 'Cause dude, I would have never in a million years come up with the idea to do that venue and lighting the way he did. Um,
Yeah,
and it's like we see that so often. Like a lot of these great ideas will just come from some random person will say something and everybody's like, oh shit, I didn't even fucking think of that. But it's like we have a lot of people that are they've got strengths in certain things, and it's why it's so cool that this scene has worked together to make all this kind of shit. And like that's one thing too. Going back to like the striking stuff, it's like I personally think that King of the Ring, like what Job's doing over there, like they just do a way better production, and they do the strike like the pure striking arts. They do it just way more. Um, they like he cares way more about that than I do. You know what I mean? As far as like making everything perfect for like the striking and making the production look all that great. So it's like if people want to get their striking on, if they're missing Muay Thai or whatever, it's like, dude, go over there and join King of the Ring. Like they got a very sick fucking clean as fuck, way cleaner than we had production for their striking arts.
yeah, Job is a very talented guy, and like you said, we're definitely thankful for the people in the community that can be innovative and creative and talented enough to do certain things that you and I can do. So again, shout out to guys like Job and guys like him, with anybody that helps out with the mods. Obviously, boards helped out a lot. Tons of people throughout the community, but uh, yeah, man, I'm excited to see. We're gonna try to get a little update out for everybody. I don't know if we will have it completely out by the by tomorrow because I know we're pretty busy and whatnot, but we're get to looking forward to that. And I guess one other thing that we can touch on a little bit is how we're gonna experiment a little bit with next Thursday's card because I'm gonna be pretty busy. So typically we give out the cards, the day of. You usually get 3, 4, maybe 5 hours before the card. You get to see who you're gonna compete against. But on next Thursday, we are actually gonna open those signups up pretty early. We're gonna close them the night before, and the card is gonna be made the night before. So we're gonna test out that a little bit, and maybe Frank, if it goes well, maybe that's something we'll do more often.
Yeah, I mean, and like, dude, in a perfect world, that's the way I would prefer it be done, because if people can sign up and stick to their sign-ups, which, we all live in the real world, we understand shit happens, but it's like the more that we can know in advance, like who the people and who the opponents and things are, and the more that we have a confidence that those fights are actually going to happen, then the more we can do for production. We can make cooler shit. We can even make potentially hype videos, things like that. But it's like if every time historically every time we've tried to do any kind of thing in advance, it's just blown up like almost immediately, like in comedic fashion. Like we'll get some fancy shit made, then right before the card, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I can't make it," or the person just no shows the card, or whatever the case may be. So this is gonna be but I do think we're in a better place with everybody. I think everybody pretty much knows our schedule and stuff now, and like they pretty much know if they're gonna be able to make it or not. Like if Lickma signed up for a card, for example, I would have 99% confidence that he was going to be able to make it. You know,
Yeah.
um, so I think the more we can get at least for like the main events and stuff, the more we can get confidence that these fights are actually going to happen, the more we can hype them up, and the more we can promote them and make it a bigger deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, a lot of that, stems from the way we do it, from kind of how we started. And I think it's important to know that we're so far from where we started now in terms of the amount of people too that be around during the cards and whatnot. So there's a lot more breathing room, even if something does go haywire. But like you said, in terms of production and stuff, you can have all the nice production stuff in the world, but if things don't pan out, well, now it's just sitting there for no reason and there's no use for it. So um, it's definitely something you have to stay on top of. And
Or even worse,
I guess,
they just no show at the last second, and then you're just sitting there with dead air, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So like we've evolved to be able to really kind of um, think on the fly and throw stuff together last second. And I think that's what's made us be able to be around as long as we have, is the fact that we kind of play on the fly more than we plan things out. But we would love to make production better and make it cooler for everybody. But we can't do it
you're
if
cutting out there,
yeah,
Frank.
it's really up to you guys. It's like if you guys want better production and things like that, we need better cooperation from you guys, and we need more confidence in your signups, especially on um the main co-main event, that type of thing.
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit there, Frank. But oh no, I think we're still good. Looked like your stuff kind of cut out a little
Yeah,
bit,
you're
but
you're kind of gargling a little bit.
alrighty, well. I will just say probably one last thing. I do have one other fight that is going to be officially booked for tomorrow, and it's going to be Circular Cyclone making his debut. He's going to take on Frost Devin MMA, Frank. But seems like we're having a little bit of a connection issue here.
Yeah, I can hear you better now. You were all
Okay.
garbled for a minute.
Yeah, it sounded like that for you on your end too.
Yeah, dude.
But
That
anything
I
else
think
you
that's
want
a
to
good
touch on
fight
here?
for the newcomer.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely just makes sense anyways. But anything else you want to speak about before we get heading out here?
I don't think so. Did we hit every box we were wanting to hit? Because I really just wanted to do just to kind of touch base with everybody, and it's been a while since we've done a live podcast, that kind of thing. We've got so many new members now. I just felt like this was kind of the perfect time to do one of these things.
Yeah, yeah, no, we did touch upon everything. We want to say thank you one more time to all of our Brazilian following and the guys that put us on the map with a lot of those fans like Garza and Jackson Almeida. And be on the lookout. I'm sure everyone's going to get real excited for the U.C. Hall of Fame. And we got a lot of cool things that we didn't talk about that we've mentioned about that we're kind of going to keep a little bit secret so everybody can be real surprised when it comes around. We can do something really cool for everybody. And I hope everyone's just ready for the card tomorrow, man. I know I am.
Oh, and one last thing too, if you guys could, especially you new members, go subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch, because I know for sure, because we have a lot more people in the Discord chat than we have subscribers we have subscribers on YouTube and Twitch. So we try to get these numbers bumped up a little bit so they'll feed us into the algorithm a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely subscribe, man. We got that new goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers. We're getting a little bit closer, so I think we could definitely hit it pretty quickly if all things go well. So, like Frank said, make sure you go hit that subscribe button, man.
Well, and with that, unless you got anything else, man, we're gonna go ahead and end this thing, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, man, we're gonna see them all for UUC 73. No way out, Frank.
Yep, live on Twitch, u /UUC fights.